rip that pretty firmly, but drop it off with one of our volunteers that's out at the front door. Ladies, welcome. You know, one of the things that was asked of me earlier this week is, could you identify some themes for the films that were chosen for this film festival? And I certainly didn't curate the program, but the one thing that I can say is it's been really heartening to see how many female directors are represented in the lineup this year, including Rajshri Ojha, who's the director of our opening night film X. I believe she's in the audience. Gitanjali Rao, who directed True Love Story, and of course Sreemoyee, you directed Veil. Tell us a little bit about the film and why you chose the topic.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm really glad, and this is the first time I'm showing my film in such a houseful, wonderful audience. This film was actually inspired by a short story, as I said on the title track. So the name of the story was Deho Dan, which means the body donation. So that story was all about a girl who was a nude artist, and how actually right now in India, or maybe all over the world, the guys, when they are like in their when they are like entering into their adulthood, how they look at the girls. So what I wanted to show mostly was that the girls are always, even today in 2014, are taken as mostly sex symbols, but we most of the times forget that they are also flesh and blood. And that was why I actually chose the topic, because I have been seeing this all around, all the way. So, yeah.
And how does it feel to be here in New York presenting at this festival?
It is awesome. Speechless. It's awesome, actually. This is the first time I'm in USA. I haven't been here before. And it's wonderful, like seeing so many people watching my film in New York, and this is my second short film, so it's wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, Afia, I think you passed the statute of limitations, so you're a New Yorker now. Sure. But you're originally from Pakistan, and you're originally actually a computer scientist. So how did you come to make this wonderful film that we've just seen?
Well, before I answer your question, let me first just acknowledge everyone for coming out tonight, and especially our friends and family and the crew. I know you can't see them all, but let me please acknowledge our co-producers.
Of course.
Cordelia, where are you?
Please stand up.
Please stand up, at least. Our production designer, Naman, we've just flown in from Pakistan. Raza, our production manager. Asghar Bhai, where are you? There you are. All right. And Peter, our fabulous composer, where are you? There. All right. This film is really took more than a village to make this film, really. And this journey from being a computer scientist to a filmmaker, I believe it was pretty organic for me, I guess. Back home, there were no film schools, no art schools that I could go to sort of satisfy my storytelling instinct. So. After finishing my degree in from LUMS in Lahore, I looked for jobs in advertising, and then eventually ended up in Switzerland, where finally I got the courage to apply for film schools, and hence New York. So it's been a crazily satisfying journey all along.
And Sreemoyee brings up the topic of the objectification of women, and certainly we're not far from that in talking about that subject in this film. It was a story that you know intimately and you wanted to bring to the screen.
For sure. The seed of the film it's inspired by a true story of a mother who runs away from the tribal regions with two daughters. Her actual story is far more surreal, far more difficult, and but she persisted and she survived in the face of a major oppression. And what I always wanted to show was this courageous journey of a mother and her dignity in the face of a very impossible situation. And for us, just like for many other female directors, I believe our struggle really is about trying to stay true to the story, and especially the female characters, to be honest about them. For us in Pakistan, this was terribly hard to make, because guess what? In the lead, you have two female characters, not one. You have a mother and a daughter. So to raise money for a film like this, it was completely impossible, because we're working in an industry that sort of, it's about the matka and the jhatka and the item song and the, a very song and dance kind of sensibility. So to be able to bring powerful female voices in film, that was always the bigger challenge for us. And sort of to sort of stray away from the male fantasy, always catering to the male fantasy, to somehow bring our voices within that sphere as well.
Sreemoyee, your film is about the male fantasy.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's how, I just wanted to show it from a male point of view. I mean, I started talking to all my friends who are guys and how they think. Because, we understand how female think. Like, we have that thought in our mind and we can, share it with everyone. But then the male, I don't know why men do not share a lot about their feelings, but then they fantasize a lot. And,
that is feelings.
That's what. So I just wanted to go to the reality through their fantasies, just to show, how it is actually.
There was a scene that came up and some people brought their children. I was like, oh boy. I think we forgot to warn a few folks. The conversation about the girl child has definitely been part of our conversation since Nicholas Kristof published that book, Half the Sky. Samiya, what do you make of your role in this film and how you're now maybe inciting a critical conversation that needs to be had?